so you shoot him a message?
I did.
Okay, all right, we'll get started. If he shows up, he shows up. So it is Tuesday, June 18th, 2019. We're gonna get the meeting started. First, we're gonna review the May 21st meeting minutes. And
So the only thing right off is in attendance, it says I was here, but also says I was absent, so.
Pick one, man.
I know, so I just need to strike myself from in attendance. It's here in spirit, but physically not.
so I understand that the select board has voted on they finalized the ordinance, and I think the vote is on July 30th, I want to say?
Yeah.
Is that the right date? Yeah. So the special town vote for the marijuana medical ordinance will be July 30th. Now, did you see a copy at all of, did they make any changes to what we, no?
No, I think that's-
I didn't think so. Okay. What's that? Oh, December 18th. No, I was gone. I thought you were here because that's when they passed the, no, you were gone. You were in the hospital.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Okay. All right, so for May 21st, if you weren't there.
I was not there, correct.
Brendan, you get any changes? No? Okay. Andy, no? Okay, so other than Nate
Nate's
Stacy.
correction, I
Yeah.
make a motion to accept, with the exception of that correction.
All right, second. All those in favor? Aye. All right, so this will be, I'll sign the corrected one on this, yeah. All right, so Tuesday, December 18th. Let's see, Andy was here, Cliff, you were here, and Brendan was here. Brendan, you were here?
Yep,
Okay.
and Rick was here.
Yeah, okay. So we'll start with you. Cliff, let me know if you have any corrections or.
No, that was pretty thorough, pretty quick meeting, so that's everything.
You all set? Andy?
Yeah.
Okay. Motion to accept the.
Second.
All those in favor? All right. Guys have it. So I'll sign that one. And then I'm gonna have you sign underneath here, Andy, because you were running that meeting. So, as review, that's agenda item number 1, check. Agenda item number 2, check. All right, Mr. Clark.
Yes.
So I saw the email response that Lindsay gave back to you. You guys are thinking about doing a boarding house.
Yeah,
For a horse.
for horses.
Okay.
Yeah, eventually my wife wants to be working from home, and we do everything with the animals back and forth. And we've been approached a couple of times about people boarding some horses for them. And I just want to make sure that there's no issue with doing that here. I know that the section of property that we're gonna be using is farm and forestry, but I didn't know if there was anything we had to do, hoops with the town or anything like that.
A farm that wants to board horses? We should talk about this.
Well, I've heard horror stories not here, but of things growing legs other places, and I just
Right.
wanna make sure that whatever, if we have to sign something, if we have to have something, I mean,
Are you building anything new to do this?
I don't think you would do anything.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
is it,
It was gonna be,
Yeah.
you know, I am in the process of Clark Farm LLC getting incorporated, having that done. Not that we're gonna really do anything with it, it's just having it set up as an entity, and that we have our own horses, we have our own cattle and livestock, but if we have other people's horses there, I just wanna make sure that there's nothing that we need to do as far as permitting or making the town aware. And when I talked to David, he made it sound like there was something that I needed to get with the town on and go through.
And so for the table of permissible uses under animal breeding, care, and kennel, which is what would fall under.
Okay.
Under farm and forest, it says part of the site plan review permit. But I thought we were looking at something else.
Farms and stables.
Oh, stables and barns, yeah. Stables and barns, so that's permissible under farm and forest. So that's gonna be the distinction, is whether horse boarding falls under animal breeding, care, and kennels, or stables and barns.
Well, it's not breeding.
No, but it'd be care,
Care.
Oh,
yeah.
The way it has like a slash, so it says animal, so you could say.
well, breeding care by definition is something, it's a totally other, like,
Right,
where I got our horses from, the owner of the company that I work for full-time, he is a breeding care facility. They register, they breed and care for, which I would think would be something other than what we're doing, but
plus kenneling seems to be like, kennel.
more time for
It's-
dogs.
well, it's also short term, it's usually periodic, right? I mean, we're talking about boarding, like, horses live there,
Yeah.
not short term, typically long term, I mean, that's
right,
typical
exactly.
boarding situations, it's
Yeah.
not different than kenneling, I think, I mean, kenneling is usually short term, right?
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Well, so I mean, all this is us discussing and the interpretation of the ordinance, making sure that we, the board, and you, the citizen, agree like on these terms, what they mean and what was permissible in there. And that's why
Right.
we're just gonna kind of talk through
Yeah,
this.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, so just looking at the definition, animal husbandry, breeding, or care. Definition, the keeping or raising of 4 or more animals, including domestic animals and pets, for commercial use. This definition also includes cows. So let's look at,
Wait, so where was that?
the definition. I just grabbed the definitions. Nope, it's the appendix A definitions.
Add it in.
Yeah, there's some copies. I removed them.
I just realized the other day they're not.
Little red box.
Yeah. So let's look at just the definition for stable barns.
Did I put it in there? I think I did.
That's,
It's this guy.
oh, it is.
Stable, a building or structure for the lodging and feeding of horses. That should include this, yeah, pretty specific.
Cool. So,
So in stable falls under what?
Stable and barns. Stable and barns is permissible in farm and forest.
and then, so you own two tracts of land, right? Or two lands that are.
Yes,
pieces of land
yeah,
that are-
my parents are 653, which is where all of our barns, the animals, the pasture, and all of that area is, which is 57 or 54 acres. And then our small White House literally sits on a third of an acre, encapsulated by that land, so. That's kind of how it,
I mean, it seems like that's this lot right there, the barns, mine's the same.
I'm comfortable with it. I think we should go board member by board member. Just make,
Couple of questions.
Sure.
How many horses and how many cows do you have in there?
So we have 2 horses and 4 cows, soon to be 2, but it's 2 in order butcher. We usually keep a cow, calf, and a bull, so we don't usually winter over 3, spring calf, slaughter, kind of how it goes.
And you could house up to comfortably, you know, with stables,
Mhm.
barn, how many more horses?
With the cows, we could probably put another 6 in if we wanted to. Most likely, I don't think we'll ever get more than 3 or 4 at the most, just with where we're looking at doing and going. If we ever got more than that, then it would be, okay, we're gonna do a barn addition, but we talked about doing a barn addition for 15 years and haven't done it yet for storing more equipment and tractors and hay, you know how that goes.
And if you guys do an addition under the permissible use table, it is permitted, you want to come before the planning board.
Oh.
You'll just need to get a permit from the,
Yeah.
Jesse, yeah.
That's good enough.
Yeah.
Well, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
It's not really that important, but just looking ahead. Where do people park when they come to see you? Like where do they park their cars?
They would pull in either of the two driveways. Either there's a road that goes between the green barn, which faces the edge, and that white, and that road goes.
Okay. So there's ample space for them to get off the road then?
Oh, yeah. If anything's ever stuck on the edge of the road, usually it's me because I'm unhooking a trailer or a piece of equipment or something.
Yeah.
I'm usually the one to blame for that, or someone taking pictures of the tractors.
Yeah.
So one final question for me is, having, let's say you had 6 more horses and you have 2 and then 4, how does that impact your land, manure and how do you deal with that?
We have our own composting pile. Everything is stripped from the barn. We put in I call it pit. It's cement blocks on a pad, and we dig it out and spread it on the fields. We compost it, so usually every 12 to 16 months we turn it over. Anything that goes out in the pasture, usually either we use a chain link drag once a year and just knock down any of the humps and let it break down, or sometimes we go out with the York rake and break it up. We like compost and spreading because it's good for the ground, but also it's better for fertilizing the hay fields and also much less expensive than buying commercial fertilizer. Definitely.
That was your final
That-
question?
yeah, that's my question.
Brendan, do you have any questions?
No, I don't think so, because, if it's a permissible use, I don't really see any line of questioning that would be relevant, because it's permitted, so I have no questions.
Nate? Anything else? All right. So, just to make this like nice and tight, I motion that we vote on, trying to think how to frame this, whether Mr. Clark would need a permit through us or not. I don't think we need to vote on that as proving negative, right?
Yeah, I think.
I make a motion that we accept this as a permissible use based on land use ordinances.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Unanimous. You guys are good to do horses.
Thank you.
Now,
Maybe a follow-up email just stating, that the findings were, by definition.
Yeah, that they came before us, and that's permissible use, and
yeah, well, we'll get a letter out to you.
Yeah, sure.
And it'll just be signed by me saying that we discussed it this afternoon. It is a permissible use by the land use table. We looked at the ordinance under our interpretation of the ordinance. What you guys are doing is permissible. And saying that, 2 things. Number 1, if you guys do any additions, you will need a permit
Sure.
from Jesse.
Yeah.
And if this does become a bigger thing, then
Sure.
you might want to
Yeah.
visit us back
Yeah.
as this business grows.
Yeah, definitely.
But I really wish you the best.
Yeah.
I love seeing people in agriculture.
Yeah. We enjoy it.
Have a local business and
We've been doing it for a while, but now hopefully we can do it and can be less other places and more home-based, so that would be nice. Any questions? Hey, it's gonna be your business.
If you do have any questions, like business-wise,
Yeah.
you are more than welcome to come back here whenever you like. We're here every third Tuesday. We're open to answering questions, and we, like, I say we, I don't want to speak for everybody, but like one of my biggest goals and focus is growing locally based businesses
Yeah,
and promoting that. So I want to be as friendly as we can to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
thank you.
Yeah, perfect.
Thank you.
All right, so that's all we got for that. You guys are
Marvelous.
welcome to take off.
Thank you.
Stay, whatever you'd like to do.
Go get the kids. We got babysitters for the kids, that we're both together.
Nice.
On your tractor, Dad? The one or?
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah.
About sheets.
And hey, we've got, I don't know, 46 2-cylinders. Yeah, we got a pile.
All right.
Thank you.
Good luck.
We'll see you guys. All right. So item number 3 is checked. Draft bylaws, planning board standard procedures, assign task or set up workshop. So everybody's got their homework, hopefully. They haven't lost it.
I never had anything.
You got homework?
I never got homework.
We didn't get homework yet.
Talked
We
about
talked
it,
about having homework.
that's all.
We didn't actually
It's like the board,
come up
man.
with
It's like
anything.
the board.
It was a
We
discussion.
did talk about it before.
It was a discussion.
Well, I'm not saying that we're gonna go through the homework tonight. That's for the workshop.
What homework?
I'm talking about that draft of the SOPs or the bylaws.
Oh, yeah, we did get drafted the bylaws.
Yeah, that's the
That's
homework.
the homework assignment, I thought we were gonna get specific pieces of procedure.
Right, but I'm talking about for the next thing due, if you will. So at our next workshop, that's what we're gonna be doing first, is going through the bylaws. Everybody's supposed to red ink it and make notes, and so we can get the bylaws established. And then from there, once the bylaws are good, that's when we're gonna start assigning the other homework tasks.
Okay.
Because we need to get our bylaws set and voted on and everything now. I think the workshop date, the next one, what was it, the second Tuesday? First Tuesday. Yeah,
Continuing.
continuing on.
What is that on?
July 2nd.
Does that conflict with any, for anybody? I know July is a crazy month.
What day of the week is it?
Tuesday.
Oh, it's Tuesday, okay. Shouldn't be an issue.
Okay.
What's 2nd of July?
Tuesday.
Yeah.
I'll let you know by showing up or not.
What's the specific workshop on?
So it's on establishing the planning board bylaws.
Okay.
You remember I gave you the copy
Yeah,
of the,
yeah.
yeah. And so, yeah, everybody's supposed to take a red pen to it. We're gonna, that's the very rough draft. We're gonna try and refine it to a finer draft. Hopefully everybody has some notes and then we can work on it.
As far as my role in that, I'm up to my neck with survey, working on the results of that for the comprehensive plan. So I've taken on a project that is quite lengthy and a lot of work involved. So I'll be happy to look and come in on meetings, and I only feel like I'm not a full member, I'm an extra. Rick's a full member, so you need 5 for the forum, or
You get 3.
just 3. So what I like to do is forego any major work on the bylaws. I'll be happy to review everything with everybody, but I can't take up extra homework on it. That's what I'm saying is, and I do have something to discuss in other businesses. The relationship to the, it's a plan. So you guys know where I'm going.
But I will say on that, even though you're an alternate, like you're still considered a planning board member.
Yeah.
So I understand having extra commitments and not being able to make meetings, absolutely. I mean, especially coming from me, I've had meetings who can't make it too. But like with this, if you do have thoughts, I do want to encourage you to like scan it or email it to us for that meeting.
Yeah,
That way
yeah,
that
yeah.
we'll make sure and include
Yeah, I
it.
might even be able to make the meeting, I just can't take extra homework.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna try to make every meeting I can, you know. I really feel bad that I missed that last one in May, but
Yeah.
something came up. I'll try to make the meetings, I just can't take extra work, that's all.
All right.
So July 2nd then is
The next workshop.
that we will start basically with.
Right. Yeah. And then once we get the, like I said, the rough version of the bylaws into a finer version, that's when we'll start moving forward into the SOP business, like each of us taking a task and writing it out and presenting it that following month. Unless anybody has any thoughts, comments, or concerns, contradiction, that would be discussed. Okay. So I think that's good on number 4. All right, other business. Let's go around the room. I'm gonna start with Cliff.
Okay, I'm gonna give you guys an update on the comprehensive plan group. We're starting to look at zoning maps to see if we, and look at the existing comprehensive plan. Just wanna
let you know, most of us have read quite a bit of it, and we see that a lot of it still applies, and we're gonna try to tweak every area we can, especially when it comes to the zoning and what's actually happening on the ground. Is it matching our existing zone maps? You know, rural, village rural, farm forest, you know, and if we're, and as we get deeper into the definitions of that, you know, what's farm and forest and what's village rural, we're starting to come into realizing that a lot has to do with the ecology on the ground, soil conditions and everything. So what I did is I gave a couple of these already to Lindsay. Everybody should get this. This is some stuff that we've recently come across, and I told Lindsay that she should probably send this on because obviously at some point we'll be working with Watson Woods again someday. Did everybody get one? Okay. And there's a comment at the top, and then this was pulled right out of our existing comprehensive plan. And there's a comment after 78 at the bottom, after the soils, low density development.
We can't entertain this without the.
Yeah.
No, well, we're not gonna entertain this. This is just information, but the lawyer is gonna be sent this, right?
You okay with this, Henry?
Hold on, let me see what this says.
Basically, it's pulled out of our comprehensive plan.
So this is pulled out of the comprehensive
As
plan
it exists.
specifically pertaining to the Watson Woods subdivision.
No, it's just general, large development, you know, small development. This is just general stuff. But the reason why I brought it up,
I understand, it
It's
just says
because
specifically, it says requirements of plan that pertain to the Watson Woods proposed subdivision. Okay,
but the reason why I brought it up is that it's gonna be, it applies to large or small developments. And what we're trying to get at is that we're starting to deal with issues that is gonna affect the project that we're working on.
yeah,
So out of the existing plan that we have, we quoted on these pages certain definitions and certain requirements that the comprehensive plan need to sort of look at and meet. So what I basically have here is this is to be given to you, but also is to be sent. And you said you could copy it and email it directly?
If you wanted me to send it to Watson Woods, I could email them a copy.
Yeah, well, they
So-
should get it.
if you're gonna send it to Watson Woods, that needs to be on behalf of the comprehensive plan board, not.
It
not-
can, yep. it
Yeah,
can take-
not by the planning
Right.
board, because as the planning board goes,
Okay.
we can't discuss
Okay.
this without them.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
That sounds good to me. Yeah, send it on behalf of the comprehensive plan.
How about you send it on behalf of comprehensive plan? I'm not on the comprehensive plan.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, she works on, she's.
Well, am I allowed to directly access, I have to go through the selectmen to access to our
I would,
13.
yeah, so you have to tell the selectmen that comprehensive plan is looking at this specifically in relation to a pending application, and you would like this forwarded through the selectmen's office.
A lot of this stuff is already being dealt by the Watson Woods, but there are things in here that for our own and also for Watson Woods viewers to look
I
at, because things exist in our.
Yeah, I agree with that. I'm just saying, like, as a board, we can't
No, I understand.
go into this without them here.
Yeah, I don't want to, I actually didn't want to go into it. I wanted you guys to look at it and then one sent to their lawyers and then when we meet, discuss it.
Okay,
That's all.
all right.
So I will go to the selectmen
Mhm.
and have them forward a copy of this.
Yeah, just take off the Parsons Field Planning Board.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
mandate.
Okay.
And just put like comprehensive planning committee on the top,
Mhm.
because it needs to be very
Yeah,
visible
Got
that
it,
you're
got
not
it, got it.
working as like an alternate
Right,
planning board member.
got it.
It's-
Yep. We'll do that.
Okay,
So yeah, you can just toss that out and see, I'll take care of it.
all right. What else you got?
That's pretty much it. We're really, trying to decide if, as I said, if our zoning districts are going beyond and what we need to do with it. The other thing that I have is reading through the plan pretty thoroughly, I found that the plan suggests that the planning board meet with any comprehensive planning group Because the committee, actually, even though we might redefine and upgrade the plan, it's still it's gonna be an existing committee after that. And it says in the plan that they should meet periodically, maybe once every 2 or 3 months, the planning board and the comprehensive plan group, just to see what changes are going on and make sure we're all on the same page.
I'm absolutely open to that. I mean, if you guys want to, like, once you feel you're at a comfortable place to, like, have a discussion.
But it's a public discussion, obviously.
Right, yeah.
Right.
Just let us know a date, at least
Okay.
a month in advance, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
we'll see what we make.
at least a month. Yeah.
If I'm correct in my reading of it, we're somewhat subordinate to the comprehensive plan. Because the ordinances state that, ordinance exists primarily to maintain the.
Well, we're subordinate to the ordinances.
And
The ordinances are supposed to be subordinate to the comprehensive plan. But what the ordinances are passed
By the time.
by the town, by the electorate, and that's what, regardless, that's what we have to
Right.
go by, regardless of what the comprehensive plan says, to be honest with you. I mean,
And also by line and block chart, so the comprehensive plan committee is established by the selectmen. And then, so that becomes their own separate committee, whereas the planning board committee is a separate thing that we're gonna select. So like, by subordinate-ish, we're both subordinate to the selectmen.
no, but as far as, the documentation.
Right. Yeah,
This
So we're talking about, you're talking about guiding documents.
This
not
could also
bodies.
be discussed in the bylaw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does, I mean, state statute is that ordinances, zoning ordinances are supposed to be in line with the town's comprehensive plan.
right.
But, so in other words, that ordinances are subordinate to the comprehensive plan, but we as boards have to follow the ordinance.
So ultimately,
Regardless.
that's why we're gonna start to meet at some point together and make sure that everything does work.
I
It
guess
may
I
be a
could,
year and a half, maybe 2 years from now, but, we'll start to meet sooner than that, so. But, before we really start to make the corrections at that point, we'll say, well, the ordinance says this and the plan says this, which way we want to go on it.
Even when that goes, then the ordinance will need to be, like, there's a whole process of updating, and 80% goes back to the town. to vote.
Right, we have to vote,
yeah.
yeah.
So just, just because the comprehensive plan
Right.
does state one thing, the town can still.
Yeah, so the whole comprehensive plan has to be approved by the town citizens. So, what comes first, part of the board then?
How has the feedback been?
It's been real good. Our last meeting was the lowest turnout, but we've been averaging 15 to 20 people, and a lot of input, we got a lot of questions, and we gave everybody zoning maps in their particular areas to see if they feel that what's on the ground is actually what it's stating in zoning. Is it really rural village, or is it boat village, or is it farm and forest, what's going on in their area, So we're supposed to meet, actually 12th July. It's a Friday evening. So I'll get it around everybody and planning board the date. And it's gonna be a Friday evening. You can't meet Saturday for some reason, there's some other stuff going on. We usually meet Saturday, but there's I think there may be something's going on that evening. And I'll get the date out to everybody and we'll just go. I mean, it's, the most important part is bringing in as many people as we can, because we have to build trust more than anything.
How about the survey, if you guys got any?
We're starting to get there. We've got about 75 back. I mean, we really should get double that. I mean, the survey will end, right now we got the 10th and the 12th of July. At that point, we're starting to collate information. And at that point, we will, whatever we have, we'll collate and what we've got. Well, everybody got a survey. You've got
Yeah. So
any feedback from you about the survey?
I honestly haven't gone through
It's
it.
really good.
It was like
It's
like
long.
15 pages, and I was picking up the mail, going out to fix something else, and I was like, well, I'm gonna have to sit down and go through this. So
Yeah, it takes like 20 minutes to go through it.
So have you been getting, I'm just curious, have you been getting most of your responses back written, dropped off the town office or on the survey?
We've had about 50 dropped off.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, oh, actually, not drop, mail, because you can mail it.
Right.
So a combination of some drop, maybe 30 mail, 35 mail, the rest dropped off. Yeah.
And has anybody used the Survey Monkey thing yet?
I don't know, that's a good question. Tom, who's head of the survey, I've got to send him an email and ask him that survey. But we couldn't set it up with a Survey Monkey. It's a more simple as a Survey Monkey. You need to have a year-long, bucks.
Oh,
And we get them.
yeah.
We actually got a donation from some people at the meeting, at one of our meetings, that paid to have it survey done.
Nice.
Down.
I'm gonna pay for the survey to update their comprehensive plan, which they're required to do.
Yeah.
Well, we got reimbursed, town reimbursed.
That's good. Okay. Yeah, I'm just always curious about like the best way we can elicit information from the public. So I mean.
Yeah, we tried every avenue, between being able to fill it out and just mail it.
Right.
And just bring it in. Comes in the shopper's guide.
Yeah. So when you guys tie it up, if you wouldn't mind.
Oh, we'll give you the tally of results, how many people did
Yeah.
that, we'll do that.
More than that, just like how many people mailed it in, how many people did it online, how many people brought it in. That way it gives us a gauge of like if we
The
need
best
to
way to.
reach out. Yeah,
Right.
that'd be great.
Right. Yep. I think that's all I have.
Brendan,
Um,
Andy,
I lost my enthusiasm.
I should have gone with you first.
I know, I lost about 3 weeks ago.
You feeling down? I can give you a hug.
No.
You need pork in your life. don't you?
It's just, it's all, it's all good, so just proceeds.
I have this new theory that everything happens as it should. Because sometimes
It happens as past,
Everything just happens.
it happens as it should.
that's a value judgment, basically, value this process.
Yeah, but it gives you hope at the end of it because you can be
Hope is
like,
also a value judgment,
yeah.
that basically what this process.
But if you don't have hope, it's not a happy place.
We're getting kind of existential.
There's no Star Wars now.
I want to sit down with you sometime.
Yeah, anytime, man. I'm always up for that kind of stuff.
Okay. All right. So you got nothing?
No, not really,
So one thing I do want to say, when we begin again with Watson Woods, their lawyer eventually, hopefully soon, will get this, but I want you guys not to just toss that away. That's all.
Not to what?
Keep this information.
Oh yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, we never dismiss information.
No,
we
I-
just like
I just,
we have to keep it in the right venue to discuss it.
I'm just saying that at some point, I don't know,
So and speaking of that email that I wrote,
Right.
I haven't heard anything back.
really?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird.
It is. I don't know if it's because the selectman has had him too busy running like everything else from checking our ordinance and other stuff or what. I'll reach out to him again and see where we're at.
It's very weird. And they were supposed to contact us by now, I think mid-June, they said.
They said they were thinking mid-June, but they have up to September, so.
Okay. They're waiting for the rain to stop.
Or things to dry up.
So, like, if they just don't contact us and we get something in January, I mean,
So they have up till September, that's their timeline. If you go back to that email, I broke it down. If they don't submit anything past, or before September, then their application is closed, they have to go through the process again.
okay.
Well, actually, I got something. I don't know if you're comfortable discussing it,
Okay.
but we discussed it in the library.
Yeah.
Yeah, so JP's spoke to me about the fact his term as chairman is coming up, and he's not sure if he wants to continue in that position. And so somebody's got to do it, and I don't want to spice things.
Well, he's not sure.
Well,
And not
yeah,
sure
but-
means he hasn't decided yet, which means he may actually continue to do it. Then we don't have to make this decision.
Correct. Well, you're right.
Well, actually, so that's gonna be
That's what I'm shooting for.
my talking point, once we get to me. So we can discuss that now though, unless you've got anything. Okay, so I was nominated and elected chair in June of last year. The state guidelines from MMA suggest that the chair position is a 12-month term limit, which would mean this meeting would be the expiration of my duties as chair unless moved back in as chair. I will tell you guys, like, I am on the fence whether I am running for re-election in this position. And I think that it would be prudent to nominate somebody else as a chair or for the chair position. Now, that doesn't happen tonight, but I'll continue to carry on in the position until you guys tell me that either there's somebody that wants it and we vote them in, or, you know, my term is expired. My term is expiring in August. I think I did a 2-year. Did you do the 3? Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a limit on, is there a number that you need to have as permanent members or no?
3. Well, no, you just need three present.
3 present. So theoretically, you guys could alternate chairs and all you needed was 3 people here and the planning board could still work.
That's how it was working when we first got on. Kind of, except we didn't have a chair, we just had,
It's a term.
yeah, just somebody that ran the meeting. Now, in saying this too, like, this is something that I'd like to define further in the bylaws of what position has what responsibilities.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, like, this whole chair position that I've been running, like, I've been doing it without a framework of what that consists of. So I may have taken on more work than the chair traditionally does. But it was because, you know, like, I was asked to by the selectmen for getting that ordinance out and then attending meetings and stuff like that. I think that that's a kind of normal thing in a city government, but, like, I think in the bylaws we should work out, like, what the back brief is and all that stuff now. Yeah, so the chair's duties as defined by MMA are strictly to run the meetings in a orderly conduct and efficient conduct, and to allow applicants to speak, to allow the public to speak. You know, you're just like, I don't want to say, yeah, the moderator, thank you.
So basically, you're really saying that that's the bottom line.
That's the core.
Obligation for the chairperson. So all the extra work that you took on should be divided by amongst the other members.
Well, yeah, there, and then a lot of it now has already been taken on by by having a planning board secretary. That's been huge.
Sure.
I can't tell you how ecstatic I was when Travis Clark reached out via email, and then Lindsay wrote him back like an extensive, very well put email of like what the process is and what needs to be done, because it's those kind of things that she can handle on a daily basis. That like just took up all kinds of time for me because I'm sitting there typing it out on a cell phone.
Yeah, there's so much work, especially in town, that is changing and growing.
Yeah. And I'll say as well, since we started out I don't want to say started at the board, but we inherited the board kind of in disarray. I think that we as a board have gotten further and further into organization, and continually every month that I'm here, the workload for the chair has become less, which is nice, which is great, and it's because we've all done a part.
Now it's trying to sell.
Right.
Now it's trying to sell.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's really fun to paint this.
Yeah,
It's less work.
It's
Oh, I
actually,
forgot about
it's actually less work than it sounds like.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
It's a sell.
It's what you make it.
It's really,
That's what I'm
it's
gonna
really
say.
just getting easier and easier.
Right. It does the job does itself.
That's a sell. Yeah.
So, yeah, just from where I stand, my term is up September. I'm trying to decide what to do right now. I don't have my mindset on whether I'm gonna be staying on the planning board, or finding a different way to be involved in the community, or just focusing on my business. Like, those are my three things that I'm going towards right now. I'm happy with the progress that we've made as a board. I'm comfortable, like, helping whoever wants to be chair as much as they need help in things, and that's where I'm at.
If you
So
happen to decide to leave, we could use another person out of the company to play the crew. Because I lost 2 people, they just don't want to, they don't have the time or want to do it. They were my best people.
Yeah.
And the meetings went great. Getting just one fellow was help, and he was just pushing it. The other fellow, he's got a corporate personality, and it's like, I want to deal with this. And so I've lost 2 of my best people. I still have Dan for and then a couple of other people. It's a tough one.
I'll throw that into the ring of things I'm considering.
Yeah, that would be great.
Yeah. So, all right. So we got a couple options for the board tonight. All right. I'll give you guys the easy option first. We can vote on it tonight, or we can kick it down the road now. We can vote on.
The easy option is that nothing changes, bro.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
That's option number
So,
1, is you just keep going.
The easy option is that somebody nominates me as chair for the remaining of my term until August, and I retain that position until the expiration of my term. And we vote on that. The other uneasy option is nominating somebody else to do chair, and we vote
Is
on that.
anybody willing? I mean, that's the first thing.
Yeah.
I think it would be a good thing if we had Rick here.
It would-
I'll say my 2 Ps, with my current situation and working in town, and, it makes it very hard for me to, like, aside from these meetings, be part of coming to town as getting to the selectmen. Like, there's a lot of things that I don't know if I'll be able to do simply because of my work focus. And to be completely honest too, like, having 3 young children, like, it's a lot, as anyone can know, as anyone knows, but I don't know if I'm able to take on that responsibility right now.
I think it's understandable, man. Like, having kids, this is a huge, one night out of a month, or 2 nights out of a month is a huge time. I mean, Brendan, would you consider it?
That wasn't
It wasn't a no. I nominate Brendan, let's vote on it. Done.
Yeah, I mean, we're not there yet. I don't have to consider it.
Yeah, you gotta consider it right now.
I don't have to consider it right now. Come on.
Nobody has.
Andy hasn't decided he's not here.
I did decide completely. I already talked to someone, JP, I decided, be happy to actually chair meetings, but the rest of it I can't do.
Well, there you go. That's the chair meetings.
No, it's not.
Well, that means the defined, that's.
That is the core.
That is the
core
defined.
thing.
That's
But
all.
it's all the assembling and then writing those, the facts, the findings,
Right.
and all of those, like the official letters that go out for this.
I do think that your personality is good chair as well.
That's fine, and I appreciate the compliment, but, I just, I
But it ain't happening.
I searched my soul and decided I can't do it, it's just, that's it. Whereas I think Brendan would be excellent at.
Oh, yeah.
Well, again, it comes down to you could share the meeting.
I mean, I think it boils down to is the extracurricular stuff. Like running a meeting is pretty easy. Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's all the rest of the stuff then it becomes when they start kind of making a job on you.
Yeah, I won't speak on behalf of Rick, but I will say that I did discuss this with him last couple months, to kind of get his appetite for where he wants to be, then he's pretty happy with like the role that he's playing right now. I don't think he's that interested in being chair, but again, he has every opportunity to be.
It sounds like the rest of us.
Yes. Yeah, but I will say, Brendan, you're extremely objective, a very valuable board member. I think you would make a great chair.
How does this get derailed? This is going
not.
sideways. This is going sideways. This is
I don't think it's out of the question to have a shared chairman. It's not out of the question. That way, everybody feels a little more equal.
Well, so that's why we have the deputy chair and the chair. Like, in the event the chair can't
Got
do
it.
something, the deputy chair fills in for it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, that's
Makes
what the
sense.
shared.
Yeah.
I nominate Lindsay as chair. I think you
Well,
run a
I-
great meeting.
Yeah, I was thinking for the Board of Appeals, Mike Sandal, I just wrote all that stuff for them, letters and stuff that went out. I just gave it to him and he said, yeah, it was good.
See, I kind of like
So
that.
that would take up some of the administrative stuff. I'm also learning things.
Right. Yeah, and that's, yeah. I think ultimately that's hopefully where the planning board will get to as well.
Yeah.
Not to like push all the work onto you, but like that would be,
But yeah.
you're a very confident,
But you're-
well-written person.
But you're here.
Right.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, it's a job. That's the thing. I mean, I think showing up for meetings is showing up part here.
So you missed that part, Andy. Lindsay said she'll write all the letters for you if you come chair.
Yeah.
I want that writing.
I'm just kidding.
I think that if you'd be willing to carry out your term as chair, or, you know, till you're.
I make a motion that we vote to have JP continue as chair until the expiration of his term as a planning board member, in which case we will nominate and vote for a new chair should it be required.
And deputy chair, that say that should be reviewed.
You also put something in the shop.
Unless his term,
So he-
unless it's on a
I
different
second.
schedule. If you want to, yeah.
So he seconds.
Yeah.
All those in favor? All right, so that settles that business. Kicking the can down the road, I like it. Okay, so, other business. Anybody have anything else they've thought of? Andy, we'll go with you first. Nate?
Well, I was curious to see if we heard or know anything about is the cultivation aspect getting applied into the medical ordinances or not?
That's a great question. So,
Because I know
have you
that,
been to any of the select board meetings
Some,
on it?
I don't believe it is.
Okay,
Basically, they took whatever you guys gave them. I don't think they'd make any alterations unless they would give it back to you guys.
Yeah.
Those alterations.
so they were discussing,
I know
at a meeting with Danielle Taylor,
Okay, yeah.
about adding a second ordinance, well, not a second, a separate ordinance, not specifically marijuana, but requiring cultivation facilities to go through a permitting process. I told the select board that if that's something they want to do, that they need to write that, because we've done our part in the marijuana thing. We took it out for a specific reason. I explained like why we took it out. According to MMA, growers have an inherent right to cultivate, and SMP, DC, whatever. And so they did express interest in doing that. Whether they're doing it or not, I don't know. I think Stacy was gonna take that.
Well, David would be finalizing the ballot today.
Oh, yes,
That's
okay,
what, I wasn't there in the meeting, but
yeah,
they were gonna vote on the final ballot,
okay.
which I don't know what that looks like yet, so.
I wonder if that'll be made available on the website. I think so.
Probably.
Is there a plan for announcing that?
Yeah, well, he's drafting the ballot, they're approving it. And then I think the process is he has to send, there has to be like 30-day notice for absentee ballots. So I imagine the ballot would be available.
Sooner
Do
than.
it.
Can you talk with them next time you're there and see if the finalized ballot has been finalized and email it to the planning board, just so we have a copy?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
and I guess the second part of that would be, while it is, I would say, somewhat quiet without some heavy applicants coming in. Is this something we want to start like now looking into the rec side, the adult use side?
Yeah.
You know, it's still kind of fresh in our minds with the medical. Do we want to, now that the state seems to be moving on stuff again?
But the state hasn't even finalized all of their,
I
all
mean,
the
it's
rules.
getting close.
It's getting close, but it
Yeah.
hasn't.
Right.
So I do have the draft done. I think did I email you guys a copy or did you get a printed copy? Okay.
They kind of, they mixed up.
All right. I'll the draft is basically a basic an empty shell of what the medical ordinance looked like. But it has all the explanations in there and references to like the state like titles and things like that. All that we need to do as a board is sit down, discuss any changes that we want from that draft, but mainly do the zoning like we did with medical. I think that, and I'm not in the fan of kicking things down the road, but I think that it would be prudent for us to wait on the results of the medical vote, because that'll give us a good indication of what zoning would be more permissible and then recreational thing. Not that they're the same at all, but like at least we get a good temperament.
Right.
So I would say that I think for August workshop, we can do it half recreational and then half like bylaw stuff. I think that'd be
Yeah, knowing that like if once it is until August or September, I just don't want to have happen what basically happened with medical stuff as well, where any of this is like, we just get so inundated with one applicant that now we have to put everything else in the back burner.
Yeah.
It just seems like this is
And we're meeting.
somewhat a quiet time. It
Yeah.
needs to be like the ultimate time to kind of.
I agree. Would you want to do it during the July workshop?
I mean, I would be open to at least, looking at, maybe revisiting what we have,
Okay.
and putting some stuff down on paper, and then,
Yeah.
and then see how long, because then at the end, after that would be the vote, right, July 30th, right? Is that yeah, July 30th, so, we can kind of get ahead of it a little bit.
Yeah.
And that way, after July 30th, then August, we can get wrap stuff up.
You guys have great potential with two chairs. All of you.
So that was it. I just wanted to make sure, we're, not getting, kind of.
Yeah.
Spoken like a leader.
Calm down.
Yeah. So is everybody else comfortable with that, adding that to the workshop?
Is that July 9th? Is that what?
July 2nd, the workshop, or
Second?
Second is the workshop.
workshop.
The second Tuesday in July.
First Tuesday.
First Tuesday. Total solar eclipse.
There's an eclipse?
Ah, crazy.
Oh,
Bad
yeah.
luck.
Yeah. It's a wild tale.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Okay. Painting, that hasn't happened yet.
I'd say call it an art piece at this point.
Yeah. I still need to go by the corner hardware store and paint. I just got a date.
Just let us know.
Did they? A paint sale? I will try and get that done this week coming up. I'll send out an email to the board, see if anybody can make it to help paint in here. I'll pick up supplies. Sit around and have paint for a night. It's good. And then, let me put that over here.
Just like every Saturday.
Yeah. Painting night. We can get artistic.
So this has to be repaired before you paint it.
Right, yeah, we can get some plaster. I know a general contractor, he's pretty good. I'm sure he'll help out.
Who's that general contractor?
Yeah, he got his card. He got his card because I can use this. I can use
We might need these windows.
You gotta cut off all that loose stuff and retape it.
Might need these windows glazed as well.
Yeah.
If you do that, I'll give them, I'm real fast. Taking real. Well, I give somebody else.
So the final and most important piece of business, Lindsay, I know that I have been kind of hands-off the last couple of weeks. I've been very busy, but like what as a board can we do to make your job easier and better?
Time's up.
Yeah, I honestly could think of anything.
I don't think there's much we can do. I don't think we can do that.
I mean, those gift cards.
Any feedback, I guess, is helpful. You know, if you guys like been presenting the agendas, if you want something put on there, let me know, or.
Yeah, it does sometimes seem like when you email stuff out that it's like a black hole.
Yeah,
That's for two parts. Number one is because I discourage like back and forth email conversation if we can help it.
All you can do is
and you guys can
acknowledge,
keep it
say thanks.
minimal,
Yeah.
brief.
That's no conversation. We can acknowledge you sending stuff, just thanks. That would help.
Well, no, you don't have to go that far, no. I mean, like, I'm just asking for feedback.
Yeah.
If you have any. If you have none, leave it blank, that's fine.
Yeah.
You know, I don't wanna waste your guys' time if I don't send out an email that says thanks.
My feedback from you is you were like one of the best board members we've had so far. You're doing an amazing job, and please continue to know that like not only me, but the other board members have your back, like in anything going forward. So if there are like greater responsibility things that you want to just take on and go with, fine with that. Just let us know. I do owe a meeting time with you and Debbie for the budget stuff.
Yeah.
Um,
Which, by the way, I don't know how, but we're $2,000 over budget now.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Like so that we don't have $2,000, or they owe us
we're
$2,000?
negative $2,000.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I haven't got into it with her because I'm sure it's confusing. But yeah, it would be good to sit down and kind of figure out how that happens.
Yeah,
So,
especially when we haven't spent anything
right,
at all.
well, minimal, maybe Shoppers Guide ads for the marijuana stuff.
Yeah.
That would come out.
But that's what, $90 a pop?
Yeah, I mean, maybe a couple $100 at the end of the day.
Could be legal fees.
I was gonna say. 'cause-
No, they didn't apply legal fees.
Oh, they didn't?
No.
Yeah, they're supposed to be taking out some legal fund that they have. Jeff, you know anything like what they're gonna charge the town lawyer with for us? Not you, but.
Doesn't come in, comes out of, doesn't come out of the.
So there's a town legal fund, and they were saying that they might pull some of it from the planning board budget, but they were gonna cover anything else in there with the legal fund. Or they were gonna try and get what they could from the legal fund first, and if there was anything overages, they might take it from the planning board budget. But our budget is confusing as hell, like how it's managed, so I need to sit down, Lindsay and Debbie, and get it sorted out of how this actually works. So we had a meeting 2 weeks ago, I couldn't make it,
Yeah, just if you let us know a day that works for you.
yeah. I'll sit down and find out the
As far as I know, all the legal fees are supposed to be paid by the client. So what happens is, I think the bill comes in, the town pays it, takes it out of the planning board budget, but then that money doesn't get put in until, I don't know, later on, and
Yeah,
then
that's
all
right.
that money goes back into the planning board.
But-
And then that's
Yeah,
how they
But
have
that's if it's
all the money back.
relevant to applicants specifically, right? That's for escrow funds.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
so.
but there's plenty of legal fees, I think, that, you know, can be accrued that have nothing to do with, that aren't directly apportioned to an applicant. You know, especially since there's been a lot of general stuff we've been trying to look into to kind of get on the right track.
That was my understanding as well, and when I brought it to the select board, I think that they've got a plan on where it's gonna be sorted out.
This happens every year. So the select boards, the planning board's over budget by at the end of the year, all the checks are cashed and all the money's transferred back over. And next thing you know, you have money. You had the same problem last year when you wanted to buy a computer and they said there was no money, but there was money. It just wasn't transferred.
Speaking of which, is that working okay? You using it?
I gotta run, guys.
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Everybody in favor? Aye. All right, that concludes this meeting.
Okay.